So we are come. So we are starting Daiva Ashura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Let us pay obeisance to Sri Radha Govinda. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Nanaka Shalakaya Chakshurmitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Anvetam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakana Vittamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dino Bandho Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sukte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrabhyascha Kripa Sindhavevacha Patitam Nam Pavne Bho Vaishnavo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatesha Tarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So let us get into this chapter. So I just wanted to, yesterday, towards the end of the class, we had a lot of discussions on gunas. Sorry. Okay, it was the query, by Rajat Prabhuji was telling what are we attached to. So, what was the attachment or attraction in each gunas? Actually, guna, in Sanskrit, it is the nature, okay? And it is also another meaning is like a rope, and a rope which is binding us. So, this, to get the right words in English, it's not that easy. So, you get confused in that way. So, here, the 14.6, that verse, Krishna says, O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in this mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. So what attracts them is attachment is to the knowledge and happiness. So people here, they are more interested in trying to get the knowledge and they will be happy. And so the examples are like scientists, poets, and all of the, for them, the intelligence, the knowledge. And who can develop the knowledge unless they are calm, peaceful, virtuous? I mean, they must be more or less sinful for reaction. Otherwise, they won't have that aptitude for knowledge, isn't it? So, and then they'll be happy with that. So this, for that, they will. So these are the things. For knowledge and happiness is the important thing that attached to the attraction in the mode of goodness, sattva guna. Tatra sattva nirmalat. Okay. And then for rajas guna, rajor agat vidhi, in this verse, Krishna says, is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because that thus, this is bound to material fruitivity. So he is bound by that. He gets bound himself to the fruits of the activities. For him, that only, for anything, he will always, if he is in that mode, in that guna, in that nature, then what will he think? He will be only looking at what is there for me, what will I get if I could do this thing, or will I get more, oh, I should get more. So that is the thing. He is bound to that material activities, that action. Whereas tamas gun, O son of the mode of ignorance, causes delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep. See, here he clearly says, here this person is more attracted to sleep. I mean, indifferent. That means it's opposite to the mode of sattva guna. He's not bothered. He's not interested. For him, just he wants to be in action. He doesn't know, he doesn't care about it. He doesn't want to develop knowledge. If he can sleep or if he can be inactive, like, even doing his duty, he doesn't think. He is indifferent. That is what idleness means. And why? That is what it attracts to him. So if he can procrastinate it, he will he'll be happy to do it. For him, that is the happiness. If he can sleep, if he can endurance, that is the thing. That is the guna. Guna is the nature. Okay, this is how he defines. Why I brought this up is because again we are going to touch upon this modes of nature, which the Lord is going to distinguish in chapter 17 as well as in chapter 18. So we should know these definitions properly. Okay. If there are any doubts in this, we can ask. Otherwise, we can move to the chapter. Hare Krishna. Because yesterday the Prabhuji was asking, if we are mode of passion, we are competing. And is it right? See, it's not about the competition. I know you have to have promotion, you have to go rise in the, when you are in a job or when you think you have to be progressive. It's not the competition or this thing that it means passion. Okay. Here what the Lord says, he knows. That means the one who in Sattva-guna will, yes, Prabhuji. There was something to be said. Hare Krishna. The person in Sattva-guna, he will rationally look at the pros and cons of it, and then he will take a decision. He won't be impulsive. He won't be running behind it. And then he will act on it. He will do the complete. He will try to progress, but he will be doing in that mode, in that guna. Okay. Whereas the Rajas guna, he is too attached to the fruits, So for him, that only will be the aim. So that becomes his life and goal. So that is how he differentiates these three gunas. Okay. So we'll go to that. And some, they're not interested. So that is a sleep. Sleep and things is what attracts them. So now what did we see in yesterday's chapter was the inverted banyan tree. I hope it made it clarified, y'all. I don't know. Maybe that Rajiv Prabhuji is not here, but if he comes, we can go over it again. But since it is going to come again in chapter 17 and 18, I thought we'll clarify it. Let us keep this definition in our mind about the modes of nature. Okay. So now we are coming to this, how the Lord yesterday was using the example of inverted banyan tree to tell us that this material world is just a reflection of the spiritual world, and it is based on the banks of desire. Okay. Because of our desires, we have come here. And then he talked about the transmigration. How we are, how to come out of this material world is only cut by weapon of detachment. And then otherwise we'll be transmigrating from one body to the other, and we carry our mentality. The senses, vasanas, will be going from body to body, and we'll get that particular body for which our desires, which will suit our sense and desires. And then the Lord also says how he is maintaining our body, mind, and soul. Body is that he is the one who is maintaining sun, moon, all the planetary systems which are there to help us to get the food and maintain this body. Plus, he is inside us as an air of digestion, the flow of air. And then the mind gives us the intelligence and forgetfulness and buddhi. And the soul is by giving us the Vedas. So, summary of Vedas and Vedanta, he summarized telling that is all we meant to purpose is to go back to him. So, he maintains a spirituality by offering ways and means to achieve self-realization and escape the rich. So, most confidential part in Vedas is to engage in devotional service to the Lord. So, after saying all that, now how the living entities have the mentality of different kinds of mentality, the divinic nature and the demonic nature, how they thing is being explained here. So it starts off with the 26 divine qualities which the born of godly nature. See, when he said you transmigrate from one body to other, you carry your mentality, you carry your nature. So even these things will be there with you inherently from the beginning, from the birth stage itself. It's not that after you take the birth and then you associate with the people that certain basic things will already be there in you, inherent. That you can find even in children also. See, when they are children of the same family, 4 or 5 siblings, all won't be same, isn't it? If we believe that we are getting this nature from after being born and you're with the family and with the society, you get the nature. No. Because from the beginning, though the same environment, same society and same parents and this thing, but still the siblings will have different natures, isn't it? Because that's what they would have carried it from the previous birth. Okay. So that is why here Supreme Lord said, fearlessness. Now he is describing these 26 qualities which are belonging to godly men endowed with divine nature. Okay. So fearlessness. Fearlessness, I mean, if you look at the different ashramas, we talked about sannyas, brahmachari, then grihastha and vanaprastha. There are certain characteristics which are very prominent for that ashram. Like sannyas, he should be fearless because he gives up everything and he is in the mercy of the Lord. He knows the Lord will take care of him. So he will be fearless and he will just venture out and he won't have any he won't have any shelter. He will be living in the mercy of the Lord. So mercy of Krishna. So, and he's convinced that Abhayam is not fear, he's fearless Abhayam because he knows the Lord will take him. So that's when, so you can't just take up sannyas just like that without getting the maturity. Unless we are mature in our consciousness and we have firm faith that this is what the Lord will do for me. He will take care of me. That's when you take sannyas. So in the characteristics of a sannyasi is that is fearlessness. And his purification of one's existence. That is very important because he has to purify his senses. He has to have a control of his senses. And I mean, if he still has that anchoring for sense gratification, then he should not take up sannyas. That we saw in a mityachara. He is a pretender. So for a sannyasi, these two things are very important. Fearlessness, purification of one's existence. Then cultivation of spiritual knowledge. That is jnana yoga. And sannyasis, they go spiritual knowledge and their purpose of sannyas is to spread this spiritual knowledge. Okay. And they go door to door, not for begging alms or anything. Actually, they go door to door for seeking alms to give this knowledge to them. Okay. And also it will develop humility in them. So this is the characteristics, divine qualities we see mostly in the sannyasis who are taken that. Then charity. Charity is meant mostly for householders because in sannyasis, the brahmacharis or vanaprastha, they don't earn, they don't think because they are not earning. The only class of people who earn is the householders who have to maintain the other 3 ashramas, right? So charity is mainly meant for householders. I mean, they have to, you can do charity in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Or the 3 gunas are explained in the next chapter. But what we are saying is charity is specially meant for the householders. Okay. And self-control. Self-control will be for all the 4 ashramas. All the people in the 4 ashramas, they have to regulate their actions. They have to be disciplined. And that... also for householders, they should be disciplined in their sex life also. So this is how the self-control is important for all. And then performance of sacrifice. Sacrifice will be done for the householders who do the yajna. And performance of sacrifice is also for the others. Brahmacharis will be sacrifice their hearing and thing. There are many sacrifices because they'll be studying the Vedas. And austerity. Austerity is the tapas, mainly for the retired people, because they will give up their grihastha ashrama and take up vanaprastha. They want to take up practiced austerities of body, mind, and tongue, so that they want to go towards this, take up more in the spiritual path. That is on the remembrance of the Lord. That is the Vanaprastha. When they will hand over the grasta responsibilities to their sons, and they go off, and it's one step before taking up sannyas, right? So they have to practice austerities. But actually, no one likes rules and regulations and things, but it is very important. That is very important because it will help us in the spiritual. That is, austerity is the measure. And actually, many people around, since they want followers, they will relax these rules and regulations because they want to have more and more followers and all that in the name of religion. But that is not right. In fact, they were asked, when Prabhupada was in US, other societies were telling, why are you so strict on these 4 principles? That is, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no drugs, and no cheating. But he said, no, this process of Krishna consciousness won't work unless you follow these 4 regulative principles. He was very strict. But there are other followers, they will be relaxing. So he says austerity is very important. Simplicity. And simplicity is there for everyone. All the ashrams, simple living and high thinking is the simplicity for all others. Then non-violence. So non-violence here, it means is that ahimsa. We should not check anyone's progress in their spiritual life. See, if you kill them prematurely, what happens? They have come to take birth. They would have taken birth in that particular form. It might be an animal or a bird or a thing. And if you prematurely kill them or a human being, then what happens? Before they complete their life, then you have checked their progress in that, because they would have the law of karma would be like they would have to spend in that life as of so many duration. And if you kill them prematurely, you are checking their progress. So that is known as ahimsa. You should not be non-violent, as to be passed. Truthfulness is satyam. Satyam is also a divine quality, where it doesn't mean that you should not distort the truth to justify your thing. You should be truthful to the scriptures, not for your own personal interest. So maybe there are certain passages in Vedas, there are a lot of passages which are very difficult to understand, and people normally will misinterpret. So we have to be careful in that, how to do it. Then anger. So next is we saw freedom from anger. So freedom from anger, you'll get only when you progress in the spiritual, because you can't just control your anger immediately unless you control your sensations. Renunciation, tranquility is peaceful. Aversion to fault finding, this is something very important. And this has to be very difficult to follow, but if we can cultivate, then most of the things, hindrance in your spiritual path, because we have this tendency to find fault in everyone, but not in ourselves. But we'll find fault in other people. We find fault in them, but we won't find fault in our own people, our own self. So that is something we need to cultivate, practice, aversion. Then compassion for all living entities. Then freedom from covetousness, that is greediness, gentleness. I mean, you should not be rude to people and all that. Modesty. Then steady determination. You must be firm in your, if you are determined to do these practices and all that, you should be determined. Otherwise, you cannot progress. If you are fickle-minded, then for 2 days, you'll be chanting hunting, and then again, you'll go back to your mundane work. Like that, you'll be going up and down. Then vigor is mainly for Kshatriyas. Then forgiveness. If you cannot forgive them, then it will be like a heavy-hearted in your heart, You have to forgive people. Otherwise, you'll be carrying your thing. Fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy. Envy is something we should be envying others, for what they have. And from the passion for honor. So honor means you like people to honor you, to respect you. So that we need to see that we should not succumb. When people honor us also, we should not become carried away by that. Nor if they this thing, but it is difficult to take it up. But it is Once you are there, you can do. So these transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So this is how the Lord is spelling out. He spells out all these qualities. Says these are found in the divine qualities. And as I said, they are mainly for sannyasis. I said, no, Satyam, fearlessness and purity of consciousness. Grasta is what, 4, 5, 6, like that. We can see it's very important. Okay, common to all. Then comes to the demonic qualities. Dambo, Darpa, Abhimanascha, Krodha, Parushyam, Evacha, Ajnanam cha, Abhijastasya, Partha, Sampadam, Asoryam. Asoryam is demonic. Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pratha. So, they are very arrogant. They can't, arrogance will always, you don't want to listen to anybody. You feel you know everything and you can't tolerate anybody else's weaknesses. And you're proud of your intelligence. You're proud of your wealth. You're proud of what you're doing. So these are the anger, and at any small weaknesses or any little mistakes done by others, you immediately get angry. Conceit, harshness, you're rude, and you're ignorant. Ignorance is you're ignorant to the divine quality. So these qualities belong. See, we saw 26 qualities of divine, and here only 6 qualities of demonic. So these belong to, and it is a road to hell. Okay. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandha ashurya mata ma sucha sampadam daivim abhijato si padav. So the transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation. That's why he's spelling it out in the beginning. It's the first thing. It's to catch us our attention. So because why? It is conducive to liberation. So whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. Here it is clearly said, you're born with divine qualities. So from birth to birth we come, there are some people, we carry that. So certain things. So demonic qualities. Before, in Satya Yuga, you could distinctly mark out, these are divine people and these are the demonic people. They were in there from different planets. Okay. But in Treta Yuga, they were in different countries, like Rama was in Bharata and then Ravana was in Sri Lanka, like that. And then in Dwapara Yuga, we had both divine people and them living in the same family, like we have Pandavas and Kauravas, cousins. So you can easily make out Duryodhana and Kauravas are very demonic nature and Pandavas were divinic nature. So they were in the same family. But today in Kali Yuga, we have in the same person. Individually, in each individual, you will have both the qualities. Divine qualities and everything, but proportionate will be different. Okay. So if we need to try to see that we should be aware of our whatever that demonic, we should not become proud or angry, control of anger, or to become conceit, and those things, arrogancy. So these things we should be aware, because that will make for bondage. Whereas the developing the transcendental qualities are conducive for liberation. So here clearly the Lord says, with the help of the spiritual master, O son of Pritha, in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demonic. Now he's going to explain in length why they are demonic and what is their attitude and what are the effects. Okay? Pravittam cha nivrittam cha jana na vidur ashuraha na shaucham napi chachara na satyam tesu vidya. So pravirtam, that is, they don't know what is to be done. Pravirtam. And nivrittam is what is not to be done. Okay? Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. So these people, they don't know what is right and what should be done and what should not be done. So pravritam and cha nivritam, so they don't know that. And cleanliness, chaucham, they are not truth, and proper behavior is not found in them. So this is how the characteristics are. I mean, asatyam aprasitam te jagat haur anishwaram aprasvara sambhotam kim anyat kama haikutam. So you might ask, why is the Lord is talking all about this? Because we said, no, we are going, whole section is about the way we are living in the material world, and we need to know what are the other, and not only about ourselves, but what's the living entities are around us, isn't it, in this material world. So they say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, and there is no God in control. It is produce of sex desire and has no cause other than this. So these are the people who have that. We have no proud atheist. Asatyam apras. They say this is there is no God in control. They think it has just came Big Bang theory. That's how these scientists come up with theories after theories, saying there's no God. And this whole material world just came like a big bang. There was big explosion, and then we have this earth, and that's how this Darwin's theory, this theory, that theory, and actually there are a lot of flaws in all their theory because it's just a theory and not a fact. But we find in this Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam, all it's a fact. It's all been given. Here, this is the Lord's thing. So he is clearly saying why they are demonic nature, because they think there is no God. So he is clearly explaining their mentality. And it is produced of death, so has no cause other than lust. So this is the philosophy of this atheist. Following such conclusions, the demonics who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Okay, what they do, they engage in horrible works. Like, for example, what was the necessity of making an atomic bomb? Okay, there was no need. Why an atomic bomb has to take place, right? And because of that atomic bomb, you know what happened in the World War thing? They destroyed this Japanese, Hiroshima thing. So atomic bombs, and how for generations they had to suffer a lot. And what was this need? Why these horrible works come? Because they lost to themselves, they have no intelligence, they engage in such unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. And you might ask why they're doing it and why is God allowing it. But see, if the Lord, whatever we want to do, he says, okay, go ahead, but you have to face the consequences. And today we think the scientists are the best. They are making so many inventions and we are progressing and all that. And we have both. You have the side effects also, how they're destroying the nature, how they're we are not by overusing mass production. We are unholding up things. We are not distributing the wealth to everybody. And all that, so many things we can go on and on about environmental effects and all that. So these are all demonic natures who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So the demonic people take shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, that this is nice. And being that illusion, they always want to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. This is their attitude. Okay. And they believe that to gratify the senses unto the end life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety because they think this, they are not believing in transmigration. They don't believe in rebirth and all that. They say we have to enjoy as much as possible in this thing and not bother about it. That way, they won't have any, they're always been going variety. They need variety of enjoyment, and otherwise they're bored. So being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. They even don't bother, they are not bothered even if they gamble or things, because they want to enjoy sense gratification. So this is the mentality. So the demonic person thinks So much wealth I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocrat relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So this is what happened to Hiranyakashipu. He was, by the benedictions from Brahma, he became very demonic in it. Okay, because we were so powerful, and all the devatas were scared of him, and he was. He thought no one can kill him, and if there's anybody else, he would just oppose. So even went to the extent of killing his own son. Okay, so he is the enjoy. And then we had this one in Krishna, Vasudeva and Devaki. Kamsa wanted to kill his own sister, and we have Ravana was tried to kidnap Sita. So they were all demonic in nature. We saw in scriptures how they go to any extent. Okay, they're deluded by us. They do not believe in the law of karma. So thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down to hell. So what is the destination? Because they are caught in that web. So they are not able to come out of it. Avidhi purvaka, because they are network of illusion. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality. They go to that extent of telling there's no Lord, and they're envious of him, who is situated his own body and the bodies of others, and blasphemes against the real religion. So they even go to that extent to blaspheme the religious people. So those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into the various demonic species of life. So what does the destiny? They will go down to the other demonic species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. So they cannot be liberated because they will never get the mercy of the Lord. Okay, they will be going down and down. Okay, so Trividam, and how they think Trividam Narakashedam, Dwaram Nashanam Atmanaha, Kama Krodha Tata Loba. See, this Kama, Krodha, and Loba is always coming throughout, isn't it? The way the Lord is focusing on that, saying this is the one which is the root cause. Okay, so Tasmad Etat Trayam Taj. So there are three gates leading to this hell. What is that? Lust, anger, and greed. So if we can get free from these, then we can see if the desires are not fulfilled, you will become very angry. And if the desires are fulfilled, you become greedy, isn't it? So lust, anger, and greed, every sane man should give this up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Okay, and this is on how to get free from that. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. That means you have to take a shelter of spiritual master and slowly study the scriptures and perform austerity and sense control. But he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor supreme destination. Because they don't believe in the scriptures. That they don't believe in this, they think it's all myth. It's all myth. It's nothing true in it, no facts in it. So because of that, they want to act according to their own whims. So what will happen to them? They will neither reach perfection, nor happiness, nor supreme destination. So, Shastra Vidyam Ustriya. That means Shastra Vidyam Ustriya means they discard scriptural injunctions. Varate Kama Karta, Na Sa Siddhim Avapnoti, Na Sukham, happiness, Na Param Gati. So they won't get the supreme destination, nor perfection. Okay. So why our whims are not perfect? because of our imperfect senses. We don't understand. So they don't follow the scriptures. Okay. Maya will trouble us with threefold miseries. We have so many. Because if you don't turn towards the Lord, if you turn towards Maya, then Maya will trouble us with the miseries from Adhyatmika, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika. That means our own miseries internally, and from other devatas and from the other living entities. Okay. So tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastau natva shastra vidanoktam karma kartum hiharas. Therefore, one should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So here he is giving us the importance of the scriptures. How that is all, everything is there. We need to understand what is duty and what is not duty. Pravritam and nivritam, what is to be done and what is not to be done in these scriptures, and should act so that we can gradually be elevated. And for that we need a guru. So regulated lifestyle can transform selfishness to selflessness, lust to love, quarrel to cooperation. Okay. So it could be done. So regulation in the lifestyle, it is required, because if you just live as according to whims and fancies, then we finally will end up with anxiety, because we'll never be restful. We'll be always restless. Okay. So if you have, it is required. We need to have certain tapasya or certain regulations in our lifestyle. Then only we will be able to control the mind. Otherwise, what happens? The mind will just go here and there, thither and thither, pulling you. Like the horses, it will just pull you everywhere. You won't be able to control your senses. So we have a choice here. So in this chapter, Krishna is giving us a choice whether to develop the divine or demonic qualities. And he explained them very clearly how with people with divine qualities, they will follow the scriptures and they can escape the gates of hell and attain liberation. But demonic qualities, they reject scriptures. So they act whimsically. So finally they are miserable and they go to lower species of life. So, but Vedas have all the rules and regulations, a guidebook. So he has already told now in chapter 15 that he has given us the Vedas, that's all there. And if you don't follow them, this is what happens. And who follows them and who does not follow them, what qualities they cultivate, is been clearly explained in this particular chapter. So only with willpower, determination and activities in this life can we make a difference. Only if we have the determination to try to follow the scriptures, and the willpower will help us to make a difference, isn't it? And all of us here for 1 hour at least, you have determined to stay in this class. So, and listen to. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, can you please elaborate this? Escapes the gates.
Escape the gates. Yes, Prabhuji, we can go back to that. See here, Trividam Narakashedam, Varam Nashanam. So there are 3 gates leading to this hell. What are the three things which is putting us to this? Is the lust, anger and greed. So we need to give up. Lust is that too much of desire, no? You want this, you want that. So you're not able to control your desires. You have to control that, regulate it. Then otherwise what happens? You get attached to it. We saw that now how we get attached to an object. And then once you get more attached, you become, the lust will increase. And then that the desire is not fulfilled. What happens? You become very angry. And then you lose your memory and you lose your discrimination power and you make a lot of sins. You will be thinking. Otherwise, if your lust is, desire has been fulfilled, then you'll want to have more. The hankering will be more. You'll be anchoring that greed. So how do you give up that? Because then only we need to take up the scriptures, because we are not following the scriptures. See, in the scriptures, it clearly says what is to be done, what is not to be done, how to regulate, and all that is given in the scriptures. But we don't want to follow that. We don't want to follow any discipline. Isn't it? That is the reason, that's a root cause. So this is what the Lord says, the root cause. We should give up. And how we can give up? By Only gradually attain. That means you have to take action which is conducive for self-realization. What is that? We need to self-realization. We have to accept a master, study the Vedas, have some austerity measures, and control your senses. Then develop your spiritual knowledge. These will help us go step by step. Then that will help us. And all that is the supreme destination. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
And here that is the main thing. But he who discards the scriptural injunctions, acts according to his own whims, attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Because of the scriptural injunctions. They think it's just a myth and it's not a thing, but it's there, but they don't follow that. Okay. So by knowing such rules and regulations, we can gradually be elevated. So we need to have a regulated lifestyle. That is important. That is the reason. See, even for children, we try to bring in some discipline. No, don't see TV for long. Don't use mobile for long. I mean, we have, unless their discipline is there, they won't progress, and in school and all that, isn't it? Same way in the lifestyle also, we need these regulations. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes,
That 1624 picture is Sandivani Muni with Krishna Balarama.
Yes, Mataji. That is what we have to take shelter of a spiritual master. So we have Krishna and Balaram here with the Sandip Mata. This is the picture of. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Even Krishna, see, when he was here, he did follow the Vedic culture. See, he did, even though he knew the things. That is Vasudeva is when he goes to Mathura and Kamsa is killed. Then his father Vasudeva, he'll send him to ashram to Sandipani Mani for learning scriptures. See, they will follow. Otherwise, what happens now? People will say, see, Krishna didn't go and learn the thing. Why should we also go and study under master? See, they will be seeing that Krishna as an ordinary person. Okay. But he followed all the rules. He did that so that they should set an example for us. Not that he needed to know the scriptures, but he did go and spend some time in the Gurukul. Okay, this is Krishna and Balaram. To say that. Okay, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks a lot.
So Vedic scriptures are important. So we studied the divinic and demonic qualities and what is the 3 gates to hell, and we need to understand our prescribed duties. So Prabhupada, I thought I'll end with this with a quote by Prabhupada. One's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. So there might be so many, we'll think we are all calm, we are doing this, pious, we are doing so much of devotional activities, and there's many situations might come where we might flare up, where we may not be able to tolerate such provoking situations. So we have to, that is like a test for us. So here Prabhupada says his greatness can be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So then how do we go? We have 2 more classes. So what next? So we will, so there's a level 2 class which you all can enroll. I mean, there's a new system. There are 2 things. I mean, you can take up a pre-bhakti course. Will be more like a academic where there will be quiz and where we'll be going through this Bhagavad Gita in more detail. I mean, we only took up important slokas from each chapter, where there we'll go more and we'll be reading the purport also from the Prabhupada's purport more. And it's be academic oriented. Assignments and attendance, and at least you should have done 1 round of chanting there for that. Otherwise, you can take up Bhakti Sadashiva's course. This 1 day per week is non-academic, but they will go through the Vaishnavas. There's so many things which will be interesting to go through, and certificate is not required. So that means the certificate for having completed this level 1 course. Okay. So there are 2 choices, but all these are free. There are no this thing. course. Okay, you can choose any one of them. But only thing what it will help us to be in this association, because association is important. Otherwise, what happens? We'll forget. It's natural to forget. If we go to another environment, then we'll naturally lose the touch of whatever we have learned, what Krishna was saying and things, if you need to think. And because first time when you go through this course, some points would have been got into us and we were not completely understood. But when you keep repeatedly hearing it, many doubts which come, then it's easy to apply into our life. So vancha kalpatru abhyascha kripa sindhu avacha patitam nam pavnebho vaishnavo namo namah. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. I hope all of you at least chant one round